Just before dawn in 2015, traffic slowed on Interstate 16 just outside of Savannah, Georgia. A line of vehicles carrying nursing students sat stopped in a construction zone. Moments later, a tractor-trailer slammed into the line of cars at highway speed. 5 nursing students were killed. Investigators later discovered something troubling. The driver had multiple prior accidents and violations that weren't properly uncovered during the hiring process. And that case became one of the most cited examples of why thorough truck driver background checks are critical in the trucking industry. Hi everyone, I'm Matt Rodgers, the founder of iprospectcheck. We work with motor carriers, logistics companies, and transportation employers across the country to help them run compliant background checks and DOT compliance programs. In this video, we'll go over how truck driver background checks work, what the Department of Transportation requires, and how you can protect your company from serious safety and compliance risks. First, let's talk about why background checks are so important in the trucking industry. Commercial trucks can weigh up to 80,000 pounds, meaning a single mistake behind the wheel can cause catastrophic accidents, severe injuries, and millions of dollars in liability. Because of that, the trucking industry is heavily regulated by the Department of Transportation and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Before hiring a commercial driver, you must investigate the driver's safety history, driving record, and compliance history. Skipping these steps doesn't just increase accident risk, it can also lead to DOT violations, regulatory penalties, and negligent hiring lawsuits if something goes wrong on the road. And the risk is more common than many employers realize. Recent reports show that more than 170,000 drivers have at least one violation recorded in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. Without comprehensive screening, you could unknowingly hire a driver who is currently prohibited from operating a commercial vehicle. Now let's break down what a DOT-compliant truck driver background check includes. A DOT-compliant background check is far more comprehensive than a standard employment screening. One of the most important components is the Motor Vehicle Records Check, or MVR. You are required to check driving records in every state where the driver has held a license in the last 3 years. This helps reveal patterns like reckless driving, license suspensions, repeated violations. You'll also need to verify the driver's safety performance history by contacting DOT-regulated employers from the past 3 years to review accident history and safety-related records. Another key requirement is checking the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, which identifies drivers who have failed or refused required drug and alcohol tests. Drivers must also complete a DOT drug test, which screens for substances such as opioids, cocaine, marijuana, amphetamines, and PCP, and pass a DOT physical exam confirming they are medically qualified to operate a commercial vehicle. Beyond those federal requirements, many employers also review criminal history records, verify the driver's employment history, and confirm that the applicant holds a valid commercial driver's license with the proper endorsements. So how can you build a strong and compliant screening process for your trucking company? First, understand the laws that apply to your background check process. Trucking employers must navigate a combination of federal, state, and sometimes local regulations. That includes requirements from the DOT, the FMCSA, and laws like the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Making sure your policies reflect these rules helps you stay compliant and avoid costly mistakes. Second, partner with a reputable background screening provider. Working with an experienced provider like iprospectcheck helps ensure that you receive accurate, reliable reports while staying compliant with applicable laws. A knowledgeable screening partner can also help guide you through the specific requirements that apply to transportation employers. Third, use the same screening process for every applicant. Consistency is essential. When you apply the same background check procedures to every driver candidate, you reduce the risk of discrimination claims and create a fair, transparent hiring process. Fourth, make sure drug and alcohol tests are reviewed by a qualified medical review officer. A medical review officer helps verify the accuracy of the test and ensures that sensitive medical information is handled appropriately and confidentially. Next, provide a clear disclosure before running a background check. Each applicant should receive a standalone disclosure explaining that a background check will be conducted. This transparency is required under the Fair Credit Reporting Act and helps ensure applicants understand the process. You also need to obtain written authorization authorization before conducting the screening. Before you run any background check, the applicant must give their written consent. Employers must also certify that they have obtained this authorization before requesting a report from a screening provider. Finally, follow the FCRA's advanced adverse action process if you decide not to hire an applicant based on information contained in their background check. This gives the applicant an opportunity to review the report and challenge any incorrect information before a final decision is made. Here's the bottom line. In trucking, hiring mistakes don't just create HR problems. They create public safety risks. Every driver you hire represents your company on the road, and the consequences of bad hire can be truly life-threatening. At iprospectcheck, we help transportation companies run DOT-compliant background checks, drug testing programs, DOT physicals, post-accident requirements, and many other clinical services so they can hire safer drivers and stay ahead of federal regulations. If you're looking for a trusted background check partner, head to our website using the link in the description to get started. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more insights on background checks, hiring compliance, and workforce screening.